Black and white photography is cool, eye-catching, and everyone loves it. Monochrome images stir a feel of nostalgia, timelessness, and intensity. That's because without color, our focus shifts to the subject, emotion, textures, and contrast within the frame. This can make the moment feel more powerful or reflective, removing distraction and highlighting the core elements. Even though making black and white images may seem easy compared to the colored ones, and probably it is in some way, the whole process is different and it starts even before shooting. Keep in mind that what I'm about to say works perfectly for every photography field you can think of: sports, wedding, landscape, portrait, even though I mostly do street photography. Shooting black and white photography with intention, it's all about think differently, because you can't rely on colors to make your images stand out. What looks good to your eyes in real life might not translate very well into black and white. So you have to focus more on the essence of the scene, on what's really happening. When color is out of the equation, shadows, contrast, and light become your best friends. Pay close attention to how light interacts with your subject, how shadows create depth, and how contrast bring drama to your shot. It's about capturing the mood and the feeling of the scene. You're essentially training yourself to see beyond the obvious and look for elements that have lasting impact. This approach makes you more thoughtful, deliberate in your photography, because instead of snapping away, you are considering how every element of the scene contributes to the overall story. And that's where the magic happens. By focusing on what truly matters in a scene, you turn ordinary moments into powerful emotional images. Therefore, the next thing you may want to consider is having your LCD and your viewfinder already in black and white. This is a perfect example of how small changes can make huge impact, because shooting in black and white with purpose is much easier if you see through a black and white camera. I'm not saying you have to shoot in black and white, because having the option of colors as a backup can be clever, but previewing your images in black and white can give you already an idea of the final look of your frames. Most cameras nowadays offer this option, so take advantage of it. I also know some photographers who always shoot in black and white preview, because it helps more them focus on the scene without any distraction. I personally think it's something that you might want to consider, because at the end of the day, what really matters is what's inside the frame, what's happening in it, regardless the colors or the shade of gray. If you know me, you probably know that I have no problem on challenging old photographic dogmas. And if you don't know me yet, you can subscribe to the channel and check out some of my older videos. By the way, editing your shot, whether in black and white or color, it's crucial. And yes, I think that film simulation counts as editing nowadays in digital photography. Don't underestimate the power of Lightroom, because with your editing software you can make your subject stand out, you can make your photo pop, because sometimes a bland photo with no personality can become a masterpiece in Lightroom. Not always, because as I always say, if a shot is to be trashed, it should be trashed anyway, but it can happen sometimes, so take advantage of it. For instance, I use the tool and the sliders to draw the attention exactly where I want and to set a mood into a specific frame. Maybe darkening some areas, adding some clarity here and there, because at the end of the day, I think that a good photo is a good photo even if it's not straight out of the camera. There are so many ways to do black and white, from vintage nostalgic look to a modern high contrast scene in negative space. It all comes down to your personal taste and what you want to convey to the viewer. In general, maybe a modern high contrast black and white can work very well with a super strong and abstract geometric shape, while a more nostalgic look can fit a portrait, but again, it's all about to you and your personal taste and preference. The thing that I would like to warn you about on the editing is trying to avoid that gray on gray flat effect, because I think that it does not fit basically any photo at all, because black and white naturally is made of contrast, how light and shadow, how black and white intertwine. I can't say these words, how light and shadows intertwine. I hope it's correct now, I just hate to say this word. Let me know your thoughts in the comment, I can't wait to hear your feedback. Also, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and consider subscribe to the channel, it means the world to me. Thank you for making this far, and I'll see you in the next one.